Hello tarot friends, it's Hermit Writer, and first I'd like to apologize that it's been so long since I've posted a video. For most of the world, April of 2020 was a complete dumpster fire, and for me it was really no exception. So it's May of 2020, and I'm finally making another video, and I apologize in advance if there's any background noise. I do have a very nervous dog that is pacing back and forth upstairs right now where I'm filming. So hopefully he will eventually settle down, but we'll see. So today's video is not about the Petishi Tarot de Marseille. I've got this here for size comparison. Instead, I've got something somewhat unique that I haven't really seen on YouTube very often, and I thought I'd share it with you all. So I'm going to move this out of the way for the moment, and I'm going to bring in this guy. This is a boxed set that was put out by US Games. It is the Tarot Fortune Telling game. And as you can see, this set contains a Swiss 1JJ, and it also contains an instruction booklet and a guide sheet. Now, one of the interesting things about this box set, you can see that up here it says circa 14th century tarot fortune telling game, which is a little bit anachronistic. Playing cards in general were probably invented just at the end of the 14th century, and the first known tarot deck was created somewhere between 1420 and 1450, which puts it right in the middle of the 15th century, but, you know, what's 100 years between friends? The 1JJ deck that is contained in this kit dates back to 1831, and it is based off of Marseille style cards. So let's pop this guy open and take a look at what's inside. This box set is in very nice condition, considering that it is almost 50 years old. You will see that the copyright on the box is 1970. The copyright on the cards is actually, I believe, 1974. So I'm guessing they used this box throughout the 70s and just put whatever current edition of deck was available. This is the tarot spreadsheet. I don't know if I'll be able to get the whole thing in the shot, but it is basically a Celtic cross. With explanations of what each position stands for. This is the guidebook that comes with it. This is also 1970 copyright. This was written, I believe, by Stuart Kaplan, who also did the Encyclopedia of Tarot. And Mr. Kaplan was the one who really launched US Games at least as a purveyor of tarot cards and other esoterica. My understanding is that he encountered these cards on a trip to Europe and then signed an agreement with A.G. Muller to import them into the United States. These cards are still being printed by A.G. Muller. I believe they are available through that company's AGM Urania, I believe, is their current iteration. And you can still purchase these cards on their website, or at least once we're back to being able to buy normal things, you'll be able to purchase these cards directly off of their website, but they are based out of Europe. Most of the decks available in the US are either through resellers or secondhand. I got this secondhand off of eBay. So this is the box that it comes in. You can see this is in pretty nice shape too. And there's the copyright date on the box of 1974. Simple tuck box. The 1970 version of the cards was in a two-piece, in a very nice two-piece box. I believe it had this same illustration on the top. The earliest edition, which I believe is from 1969, just has a simple red top on it. And those are quite a bit harder to find. Here's a smaller guidebook, also copyrighted 1970, so you can see this is a real hodgepodge. And then here are the blanks that came with it. And then underneath is just a filler for the box. So I thought what I'd do now is take a real quick walk through the Swiss 1JJ, in case some of you have not seen what these cards themselves look like. A very 1970s era tartan pattern on the back. These are a little bit larger than bridge size playing cards. Not quite as large as a standard tarot deck. This makes them much easier to shuffle, in my opinion. So let's go through. These titles are in French. The current versions are in English. This is the official deck for French Tarot, the card game, and they use the English version now for reasons unknown to me. But there's the full. There's the Magician. Now, one of the reasons this deck is called 1JJ, the JJ stands for Juno, who takes the place of the High Priestess. The second J stands for Jupiter, who takes the place of the Pope or the Hierophant. The Empress, the Emperor, and there's Jupiter, the Lover. Instead of two women, there's a older man back here looking at the two lovers, and there's Cupid. The Chariot, Justice. You'll see that this follows traditional Marseille numbering, not RWS or Rider-Waite-Coleman-Smith numbering. The Hermit, Wheel of Fortune, Force. I find this to be a very interesting card. He's put his club down and seems to be holding the hand of the lion. So rather than wrestling, it's almost like they're dancing or something like that. Also called Strength in English. The Hanged Man. A very simple and straightforward death card. Temperance. The Devil. And I apologize, my dog is shifting in the background again. The House of God, or the Tower. Much more of the destructive aspects of the Tower card rather than the insight coming from on high that you see in some of the older Masse decks. The Star. I love the Moon card. It's got hints of the later Rider-Waite Coleman Smith decks to come, with the scorpion down here, or maybe a lobster. And this singer and the lady in the window remind me of older French decks, like the Tarot de Paris, I believe, and maybe the Villeville show a similar scene. Very pretty card. And there's the Sun. This is one of the happier Sun cards, in my opinion. Judgment. And the World. So those are the majors. And we'll just run through the minors real quick. These are the batons. Like most Masse decks, they are straight. That's how you can tell them apart from the swords. The numbers are stamped in the bottom right as well as on the sides, which makes it a little bit easier if you choose to read with reversals. The page does not look particularly young in this deck. I think you can see this is starting to evolve into the knaves or jacks of modern playing cards. The Knight. Queen. And King. And here's Cups. No fish in this one, just the cups. Another older valet. The Knight almost looks younger than the page does. And here's the Swords. Again, you'll notice the curve, and I believe all of the odd-numbered ones have the red blade in the center. And the center sword changes position with flowers in the even-numbered suits until you get to 10. This blade changes from red to blue, as do these, blue to red, and then brown to blue. Here's coins, which in modern decks are called pentacles, or denier. I like the heart shape up here. That's very common in Marseille decks. This is out of order. There's the 7. And there's the 9. A much more active Knight of Coins than you sometimes see. So there you have it. That's the Swiss 1JJ deck. I've had one of these decks for just about a year now. So I've had a lot of time to practice readings with them. And I enjoy these cards a lot more than I initially thought I would. The line work is very simple and clean. But the images, I mean, they're a little bit dated. You can tell they're from the 1800s, but they're still just very pretty. I find it reads very well. If you're an intuitive reader, it works beautifully, and if you're familiar with the Marseille cards, this one may well appeal to you. So I hope you've enjoyed this walkthrough, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Take care.